we're getting into Rancho Cucamonga. I believe we're going to be approaching Campus Avenue pretty quickly, but pretty wide open conditions. You know, starting to see a lot of traffic returning in the afternoons. I got to say, especially when the weather's really nice, when it's really warm, traffic can tend to really build up quickly. But not seeing that on this section of the 210. Still a little early. The eastbound 210 doesn't tend to get too congested until after maybe 3 or 4 o'clock as you head out towards the 15. So as I gaze ahead, I do still see some pretty easy driving for the suspect. No heavy traffic that's going to impede him from going
I almost
forward,
broke
but,
my knee getting
you know,
this
certainly
shit.
not going to get away. They've
My
got
knee
eyes
is
from
killing
the
me.
air and the ground, and this isn't, you know, the kind of vehicle that's going to be able to speed away.
Time to smoke. I was gonna lay
get away
down.
from the police. You know, an SUV, which is, you know, fairly lumbering vehicle on its own, and then he's also, you know, towing this thing, and really this suspect has
What's
to be
up,
careful
Sage?
making any you know, crazy maneuvers out here on the freeway. Towing that thing, you know, could cause him to fishtail or jackknife or something very easily. So if that's why they're kind of been going at this more, you know, gingerly pace, perhaps that is. I'm just trying to kind of, we'll see if we can see inside. Here, let me do a little bit of camera magic, and we'll see if we can see the actual suspect here as I widen it. Looks like they're wearing a hat, a big white hat of some sort. Can't tell if it's a man or a woman behind the wheel, and got something back there in the back seat as well. And what exactly is that in the trailer there? Looks like, kind of looks like roofing material to me, Amy. I'm not exactly clear what it is, but just kind of from this angle, it kind of looks like you know, new roofing that you would put on. So, you know, very, very curious. And again, you know, why isn't this person? So I'm seeing a little bit of damage there on the front of the vehicle. That might just have been, I don't think that's related.
What up,
Haven't heard of any collisions regarding this pursuit, but already dodged. We believe now at this point 2 spike strips as we continue through San Bernardino County, eastbound side of the 210. And we're starting to get into Rancho Cucamonga now at this point.
That's right, and we have seen a few other cars on the roadway, but a little earlier, your shot was wide enough that we could see an on-ramp, and we could see a black and white Cruiser keeping cars on that on-ramp, not getting onto the freeway at that moment. I guess really just trying to keep as few cars in the area as possible. So there's another one there. Keeping other cars off the roadway. So certainly making things a little better, a little safer for other drivers who might not be aware that this pursuit is happening. And this is a SUV with a trailer that could certainly cause some damage to another car. But this driver picking up pace, it looks like now, Desmond, as it's forced to get out of that slow lane to get around these other cars at this point.
Yeah, it looks like he's not afraid to, he or she's not afraid to pass traffic here now, coming up to another vehicle towing right there. Not afraid to get over to pass when they need to. But still, well, I'm not even sure we're at the speed limit now at this point. Maybe 55 miles an hour. Not seeing them, you know, go flying by any of the traffic there on the right side of the roadway. And this section of the 210, again, if it was just about an hour later or so, this person could be stuck in some pretty heavy traffic. But they've essentially beat the afternoon getaway traffic and getting all the way back over to the right now as we get into Rancho Cucamonga. Now onto the right shoulder. Let's see if they're going to exit the freeway. And let's see if, you know, where they're headed. Why are they headed this way? Are they headed to their house or to a friend or something like that? You know, sometimes we see these suspects when they know they're going to be going away, they drive to their house or to a relative's house and get out and you know, maybe want to say some last goodbyes as they're getting slapped in handcuffs. Not a very uncommon thing. Still, you know, kind of conjecture at this point, or is this person just driving aimlessly, trying to drag this out as long as they can? We've certainly seen our share of those pursuits. Some, you know, last in excess of 5 or even 6 hours dragging these pursuits out. And, you know, we have no idea how much gas is inside this SUV, but we know he's not getting great, he or she's not getting great mileage with, you know, towing that what looks like a bunch of roofing material in the back and the drag that trailer creates. So just have to see how much longer this continues. But we are approaching the 15 freeway, and then we'll see if the suspect makes a decision to head south towards Riverside, north towards the Cajon Pass, or continue east on the 210 towards San Bernardino.
The Kia Niro EV delivers
still
an impressive
keeping to that slow lane there. Went on the shoulder for a little bit. We thought perhaps to get off of the freeway, but it looked like it was just an effort to get around those other cars that were actually in the slow lane. But this driver just not wanting to pull over, not wanting to stop, not going too fast either, but certainly keeping law enforcement on this pursuit here as they continue to make their way on the eastbound 210, as you mentioned, Desmond, approaching the 15. This driver has avoided 2 spike strips along the way, and you know, this isn't the type of vehicle that you're going to try to do a pit maneuver on. I think that the officers are going to have to certainly be patient, and hopefully it won't take too much time for this driver to eventually run out of gas. As we've been talking, this is an older model SUV and towing what looks like maybe some heavy cargo in the back of that trailer as well, which is also going to cause some of that pull. And perhaps that's the whole reason why this driver isn't going so fast, and perhaps why they were going so slow in the first place back in Baldwin Park when officers tried to pull them over for impeding traffic for going just too slow. And so we just keep watching as this driver is making their way along the eastbound 210 headed to the 15, Desmond.
Yeah, we'll be very curious if we can find out after the fact why, you know, this person is fleeing. And, you know, they may not. We're not even sure if they know who the suspect is or not. You know, a lot of times they're able to run the plates. They know where someone lives. But, you know, we have this trailer that's blocking the license plate, and it's, you know, unclear if CHP is able to, you know, get up close enough to get a license plate. If they've even tried to do that, that might spook the driver and cause them to, you know, speed away and drive erratically. You saw him do a little something there, kind of switch lanes.
Yeah.
There was, okay, so
we're losing some of that signal now, but we are watching as CHP are following a white older model SUV that is pulling a trailer. This all started on the 10 in Baldwin Park. That driver actually going too slow and impeding traffic, so they tried to pull over that driver. Desmond, just before we lost that signal there, was showing us that the driver, who has been going mostly at a slow rate of speed in the slow lanes, was starting to make some lane changes, and we've only
the 15, but that 15 freeway is coming up here in a short distance, about a half mile now. There's the freeway sign for that interchange.
Yes, he did. And now we're all here.
You can see why a spike strip would be difficult in this pursuit, at least right now on the freeway, because there's, 5 or 6 lanes there that the driver has to choose from. No traffic really to speak of. He's coming up on this slower moving car there, but here's the interchange, and if he stays in that middle lane, he's going to go eastbound 210. We'll wait for a last-minute move. Let's see if the driver tries to move across. You see the CHP getting into position just in case the driver tries to dive across that gore point at the last minute. And
to, you know, what they'll do is maybe conceal their vehicle behind a big rig or something that stopped. They'll stop the traffic, stop the big rig, hide their vehicle, and then get in front, and then they can release the spike strip without the suspect, you know, even seeing it coming. Oh, we just saw a little bit of the roofing material. Looks like it just flew out of the back there. So, you know, the cargo is not secured very well. But with these wide open conditions, Amy, CHP's not able to do that. They basically just have to wait either on the far right or the far left side of the roadway and then hope that the driver's not paying attention if maybe they're looking in their rearview mirror, or if they're, you know, texting someone on the phone, or if they're distracted, and then, you know, they can throw their spikes out. But when it's kind of obvious like this, when the CHP doesn't have anything that they can hide behind and they're just kind of sitting there in plain view, then you're more likely to see more of the roofing material falling out there. So maybe getting some littering violations, you know, tallying up in addition to the failure to yield and the impeding traffic. But yeah, it definitely makes it a lot more difficult for CHP with their tactics as far as, you know, getting a successful spike strip. We've seen that this person not afraid to you know, get out of the way and swerve at the last second if they need to. That's 3 times now that the suspect has been able to evade the spike strips in these wide open conditions. And by the way, we're now past the 15, so we're leaving to the Rialto or Fontana area now, east of the 15 on the 210, headed towards San Bernardino.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and it's you know, interesting to see exactly what they're towing there in that trailer. As you said, Desmond, it appeared to be some type of roofing material that now some of those pieces have flown out of there, which is certainly a hazard to people, officers that would be chasing this driver and having those pieces fly out. This is certainly an interesting pursuit, not too fast, staying mostly in the slow lane until they see those spike strips up ahead, and then they make the switch. And still haven't quite figured out if this is a man or a woman driving this SUV, but we are seeing a little more activity with other cars on the roadway. And as you were mentioning, Desmond, as the you know, hour gets a little later, we're going to see more traffic in the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Here you see several cars just got on the freeway. Probably folks just headed home from the office for the afternoon. They have no idea that they're basically, you know, kind of unintentionally getting involved in a pursuit. There you see that person pulling over for CHP, and you see the units getting up a little closer there as well, maybe trying to basically head off any traffic from getting near this person. So, you know, unfortunately for all these people behind it who are just getting on the freeway, they're going to get stuck in a bit of a backup as all of these officers slow down traffic. And there you see the far right of the screen I'm showing you there, the officer who's, you see him doing those round robins. That's what we see CHP doing when they want to slow traffic down, you know, they want to prevent people from getting ahead. There's actually 2 units over there that are doing that. You know, we typically see CHP do that when they're trying to get some debris off of the roadway, when they want to stop all lanes. Okay, coming to a complete stop now.
Wow.
This is the first time we've had a stop.
And the door's
just
open.
like that. The door is open and the person is out. They're crawling. And look how quickly this just came to an end. Looks like this person was wearing a hard hat, so maybe they were, you know, out on a job or something. All of a sudden, after, you know, running from the police, it ends so abruptly in the middle of the roadway. It's unclear why this person suddenly gave up, if they were running out of fuel perhaps, or if they made the phone calls, all the phone calls that they wanted to make, maybe to their family or to a lawyer, but they decided they've had enough, and that is a really good thing. No standoff, no more further non-compliance. Stopped the vehicle, immediately got out and got down and on their stomach, which is exactly what CHP wants to see there. You see through the shot, that was CHP's chopper there. So it looks like hopefully we're going to have an all clear here shortly. Now crawling backwards, kind of obviously officers asking him to come back towards him. So a bit of a tense moment here, a little unorthodox. You don't typically see this, but you see the canine there as well. If this suspect decides to do anything, if he decides to run, they're going to release the canine, and that you know, canine officer is going to take them down. But it looks like the suspect is complying, Amy, and hopefully this is going to be over shortly. Yeah,
this is it's certainly good news. You wonder what happened to cause this driver just to stop in the middle of the roadway after, you know, avoiding the spike strips and leading officers on this pursuit. But at some point, it's good to see that he just decided it was time to stop, or perhaps that SUV gave him some trouble. And it is interesting, though, to see that he's still wearing, from your vantage point, Desmond, that looks like a work hard hat to you. It's a little hard from my vantage point.
That backwards crawl is kind of weird.
A hard hat and one of those orange reflective vests that we, you know, typically see construction workers wearing. And I mean, they are hauling what looks like construction material. It looks to me like roofing is what was being hauled in the back of that trailer. So, you know, if this person was going out to a work site or what, and then, you know, again, why were they going so slowly? And then why, okay, still not really complying here. So he was on the ground, but you said the person just does not want to be taken into handcuffs right now. So now the officer beginning to get a little bit more aggressive here. You know, pinning him down onto the pavement. This person needs to, I mean, it's obviously over. There's no reason to resist anymore. You're going to be put in handcuffs one way or another. So it's just kind of a you know, a question of how painful this person wants to make it. But Now they're getting up. That pavement's got to be awfully hot. It is really warm today as well. You know, it's over 90 degrees, I believe, right now in the Inland Empire. But now they are in cuffs. They are going to be taken away. CHP will now come in and search the vehicle. They want to make sure that there's nobody else inside the vehicle. That was the only person we saw. So they're going to come up here probably with guns drawn, and we'll see that they will hopefully clear the vehicle quickly. They have the canine as well, taking every precaution just in case someone is in the back seat. Looks like those windows may be tinted. Very common we see in these pursuits as well with the tinted windows, which CHP really doesn't like, but they're scanning the vehicle, and hopefully we will see 4 fingers in the air shortly, which indicates code 4 and an all clear.
Yeah, these are certainly, from this angle at least, the windows are dark, hard to see if there is anyone else in there. They are giving the all clear. We do know now that there is no one else in that SUV. This is the end of a pursuit along the eastbound 210 freeway. We do know at this point that the freeway is closed to traffic as they do this search and get this older model SUV out of the roadway. Again, that driver first wanted for impeding traffic, driving just too slowly on the 10 freeway and Baldwin Park. The driver stopped in the middle of the roadway that you can see where they left their SUV. And now officers have that suspect in custody. Canine units now going inside the vehicle, doing a quick search there. We, of course, will have much more on this for you coming up, and we are going to take a quick break and be right back. Thanks, Desmond.
All right. Thank you for watching the stream.